This clip is from The Buckle Bomb Show. New episodes drop every Sunday at youtube.com/Bomb Media Productions. Dolph Ziggler in a three-way match at the most recent NXT. It was a special NXT taping. I forget the name of it. But at the most recent NXT show, in a three-way match with Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler pins Tommaso Ciampa, which is important to note. Braun Breaker didn't get pinned to lose his title, so it keeps him hot, keeps him whole. But Dolph Ziggler is your NXT champion out of left field. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are Dolph is one of the most underrated, underutilized tools that WWE has. From his one and only, unfortunately, world title reign up until this point, to the story he told with Miz when it came to the IC title about, look, if I don't beat you, Miz, I'm out. Time after time after time, he literally comes to steal the show.
Yeah.
So then you randomly have him go to Full Sail University, and all of a sudden he's in the title picture. And coincidentally enough, this was just something he posted on Instagram. It was a picture of him and Mandy Rose in a car together, and it had a little sticker at the bottom of the picture. It says, "We are NXT 2.0." If I would have told you that in 2022, Mandy Rose was going to be your NXT Women's Champion, and Dolph Ziggler was going to be the NXT champion, you would have looked at me like I was a Hydra. This is something to me that makes absolutely zero sense. And for two reasons. Reason number one, Ziggler could be a top guy on the main roster. But, you have that Vince McMahon thing issue with him being a Shawn Michaels ripoff, allegedly. And number two is sending him to NXT is not helping any of this young talent. Not if you're sending him down there to become the face of your brand.
I will disagree with that a little bit. And I did love this picture. I went and found it. That is great. Mandy Rose. Oh, man.
Are we both simping for Mandy Rose?
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, I follow her on Twitter and Instagram, and there isn't a thirst trap that I don't fall for, but hers especially, and nearly every post of hers is a thirst trap, even if she's fully clothed. Yeah, Mandy Rose. So I'll watch her do anything. But I have no problem with her going down to NXT and making an impact down there. Dolph Ziggler, I'll disagree with you there a bit as well, that there's no benefit to him being down in NXT. He's one of their longest tenured superstars over there. Yeah. Him and R-Truth, right? So they weren't doing a whole. I don't know of what they were doing with him on the main roster. Dolph Ziggler was one of my favorite wrestlers 10 years ago when I was watching more regularly. And I followed him on social media a little bit, but I never saw anything about what he was doing on the main roster. I hear about this. At least he's doing something, and he's going to be able. He's down in NXT at Full Sail, like you said, and by the Performance Center. He's going to be able to help some guys out, some of the younger talent down there. If they're not going to use him on the main roster the way a Dolph Ziggler should be used, he's going to be able to help talent down there, even if he's the champion. I think that's great because now that he is a champion, if they're going to put Braun Breaker, they're going to bring him up to the main roster if that's the idea of getting the title off of him. Now you've got Ziggler down there, and you can build up a couple of guys chasing Dolph Ziggler in the NXT championship. Ziggler's a name. He's a former world heavyweight champion. I think he's the only wrestler to ever be world heavyweight champion and NXT champion, and the only one that ever will, because there is no more world heavyweight championship. So
that, let me just say, you're right. He's going to help out a lot in the PC, but I mean on TV. Let me just read some names for you real quick of men who are on the current NXT 2.0 roster. And you tell me where any of these people have now an opportunity to fit in. Andre Chase, Boa, Cameron Grimes, who I think personally is entertaining as hell. Carmelo Hayes, Dexter Loomis, Duke Hudson, Vivian Archer, Grayson Waller, Joaquin Wilde, Joe Gacy, Josh Bridges, L.A. Knight, Kushida. Think about it, that's not even the full men's roster right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're now running into not just an AEW problem, not just a WWE problem, a problem as a whole where you have such a stacked roster that you're losing all these people. You're denying them the ability to be on the show. So what's going to happen with this now?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure, but at the same time, you just rattled off a list of names. Me, as the more casual fan, have no idea who the hell any of those guys are. You've got a TV show you still got to produce that's on USA Network. They want stars. USA wants that show to have a star. Dolph Ziggler's a star. You send them down there. Mandy Rose is a star. You send them down there, and you can build up those other names in feuds with Ziggler and with Rose. You know, obviously not the men you listed are going to feud with Rose, but with Ziggler, you can put him against Ziggler. Ziggler's going to have a great match. Now you're going to know who this guy is and who that guy is because they had great matches with Dolph Ziggler, who's a star and who everyone knows. So I understand why they're doing it here. I think as we go along, I'm going to always end up being the WWE apologist on this podcast, where I'm going to go, oh, hold up, I understand why they're doing this. But, yeah, I think this is actually the right move for NXT as a TV show. And for the talent. I understand where...
Now,
go ahead.
If you put Dolph in a situation, and I hate to say, like, copy me your image, because I don't think Mandy Rose being on the NXT roster is a bad thing. What she's doing with Toxic Attraction is actually really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can find a way to get Dolph in that position similar to that, man, it could be good. I'm just saying, though, as of now, I'm still a to-be-determined kind of guy with this for someone who loves Dolph as well.
Well, and certainly now they've got the title on them. Now they have to do it right. Like, what I'm saying, I think is valid, but they have to actually do it properly. You have to now bring the younger guys up to feud with them. And I see in this picture, I guess that's Robert Roode, right? Bobby Roode? With Ziggler.
It appears to be his Dirty Dog tag team partner.
Right. So, you know, and they weren't doing much with him either. I think him and Ziggler were paired together. So, and he's a great talent, and he's been around a long time. So I think it's the same thing with him. You could probably have those guys. Oh, you got to go through Bobby Roode before you can get to me, the champion, kind of deal. And I really think you can build up some stars that way. But the WWE has to do it right, and they haven't always proven that they do it right. So we'll see.